The next section we're going to explore with PlyMiser is the project section. If you remember back from our introductory discussion, this is where we set a few parameters that just tell you how you want PlyMiser to perform some calculations for you. It'll check to see if there's any errors or omissions in your project. It'll give you a quick overview of the solutions that it found, and of course, you can attach any notes you like. So let's take a look at the project screen. Okay, so we're going to move from products to project. Here's the name of our project that we put in before. So let's look at the right side of the screen. It says we're going to do 25 iterations. I'm going to increase that to 500 iterations. We're going to do one assembly. So all the pieces we put in earlier in the product are considered an assembly. If you want to experiment with one, two, five different assemblies, if you're producing them for some reason, or you need, stacking modules where you want to make three or four identical, here's where you can increase the number of assemblies. We have the kerf for our saw set to 1/8 inch. Um, I allow you a pretty elaborate um, description of your shop and all your tools. I'm going to cover this in another video, but you can put in materials or settings for your table saw when you use a miter gauge, your table saw when you use a crosscut sled, and your miter saw. You can put in constants for your circular saw. So we're going to cover that in another video, but this is a pretty robust set of settings you could put in. And we're going to tell PlyMiser that when you generate 500 solutions, only keep the top five that are of interest to us and the bottom five. Discard all the rest. Um, there are some other settings here that I'll go through in other videos, but we essentially have enough at this point to begin a calculation. So let's click calculate. Boom, done. It went through 500 iterations of your project, and you could see that there were 16 unique solutions. So out of 500 solutions, it found 16 unique ones. Your best cost is around $157. The best efficiency, and efficiency is defined as the amount of material to satisfy your pieces versus the amount of material you purchase. So where you have a 65% ratio of used versus purchased. And sometimes if that's 65% unused, you're not using your materials properly. So let's try it again. Let's run another calculation and see if we can get that best cost to improve. Nope, 157 again, but there were 17 solutions. Calculate again, 157. Now there's 19 solutions. So, you can keep doing this, but it keeps coming to $157. Something tells me that's the good price to choose. So we've now gone through, did our settings, told PlyMiser how we wanted to calculate, ran the calculations, and now we're ready to look at results.